I don't have the an audio for it, but I can get it on my phone. But guys, the what Jimmy and I wanted to talk about this week, the tip of the week is talking about facing your fears. Face your fears, man. And kind of a good topic to think about as we are in the middle of October, moving into Halloween, which is a scary time of the year, and you got ghosts and goblins and monsters, and when the trick or treaters come around, we try to try to scare them a little bit, But Jimmy's got some great material. We're going to be covering a lot of things when it talks about facing your fears. So Jimmy, let me go ahead and flip it back to you real quick and let you continue along with the segment, okay?
Tell me if you can hear this okay, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Can everybody hear that music? Kind of get in the groove there. Go with the beat. All right, so I want y'all to just kind of picture this, right? It's 1980. Jimmy Hernandez, yours truly, is 13 years old. And I'm at Skateland, and I'm moving and grooving, right? And I'm skating to the beat. I'm almost dancing on those roller skates. I'm shuffling my feet. I'm skating backwards. I'm going so fast, the wind is blowing through my feathered long hair, right, Joe? I had long hair back in the day.
I did too, baby.
And I'm feeling good, and do y'all remember that? I don't know if anybody used to get into skating, right? But I was really into skating, and I was good at it. But it wasn't always that way. When I first started skating, I can tell you I was off balance. My body was tipping back and forth. I fell down a few times, busted my butt, scraped up my knees. I had bruises. But that's what it's like when you first learn how to do something that you don't know how to do. That's what it's like when you're trying to learn something that's new or uncomfortable. And
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
You don't know this, man, but I knew we were having this video today. I knew you were going to be talking about skating. I contacted your mom, dude. She sent me a picture. Check it out.
Oh my God. That's not me.
I know it's not, but I thought it was I thought it was funny anyway. I found it on the internet last night when I was looking for stuff, and I'm like, man, I got to put this on.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Well, I don't know if I have any pictures of me, skating back in those days. We didn't have phones on our we didn't have cameras on our phones. In fact, we didn't even have cell phones, But I got to tell you, my son, who's 8 years old, I love that little boy. Earlier this year, we took him skating. My wife wanted him to learn how to skate, right? And she goes, I don't want him to be all awkward when he gets to his teenage years and not know how to skate, right? And so she took him out every Friday at the beginning of the year. I got to tell you, he was all over the place, falling. I mean, I didn't even want to skate with him because I knew he was going to knock me over. But, he fell down a few times. He was wounded. His little ego was hurt. And you know what he said, Joe? He said skating is stupid and it's not fun. The only thing is my wife won't let you just get off like that, right? So she took him back the next week and the next week and every Friday this year. I got to tell you now, he's like a little Jimmy out there, man. He's just rolling and going. He's confident. He skates so well. He's starting to learn how to skate backwards now. He's got this huge smile and he's just enjoying himself, right? And we invite every week. We always invite somebody else, his cousins or his friends from school, and like they all struggle. And now he's like the little pro out there, right? And the whole thing about this is a lot of the people on this call, they're new to final expense. And it's something that you haven't done before. It's something that's uncomfortable, and there's a lot of fear. So let's talk about that. So, what are some of the fears, Joe, you think that people have getting into this business?
I think the number one, well, I won't say number one fears, but some of the fears are for a new person is, what if I invest the money and it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Like I wasted, like the fear of wasting your time, that it's not going to work.
Fear of wasting
Um,
their time and their money, the
yes.
risk, fear of failure. I asked this question Tuesday here in San Antonio with a bunch of agents. These are the answers that they gave us. They said fear of failure, fear of rejection, embarrassment. I guess the embarrassment part is like your wife or your husband, your spouse is telling you not to do it. That's not going to work. It's stupid. It's a scam. I don't know what they tell you, right? But like then you don't want to be embarrassed. What if it doesn't work? And then I gotta, own up to that. Doing something wrong, fear of the unknown. They don't know what to expect. A lot of people have never gone out to somebody's house and just knocked on their door, so they're scared of that. Fear of not getting a guaranteed paycheck. A lot of times when we talk to people, they have another job or they're coming from a job that gave them a regular paycheck. Maybe it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, but they had a regular systematic check. They can count on it. And when you get into this industry, it's about how much money you make based off how much sales you do. And if, there's no guarantees. That's the thing about it. There's no guarantees. And so guys, I totally get it. There's a risk reward factor. I don't know who's making all that background noise back there, but if you can mute them, Joe. Um,
Yeah, it's my daughter.
so, but there's so many fear of like, what if I don't make my house payment? What if I don't make my car payment? And so there's a lot of fear going on in the agent's mind. And I got to tell you this, it doesn't matter if you're in the insurance industry or you're starting another business, business owners, you're going to take on fear or you're going to take on risk, right? And there's a certain amount of fear that comes with that, certain amount of nervousness. But the key is not to be a gambler that, just is a risk taker. You need to be able to control that risk. You need to be able to uh, I guess you can say limit your risk, right? And so if you look at other business models, to start up a new business, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Maybe you need to buy tools, maybe you need to buy equipment, maybe you need to buy vehicles. Maybe you're starting a restaurant, you need, cooking equipment, you need, a lease, you need to buy the inventory, the food. I mean, there's there's different types of businesses out there. Maybe you want to be a barber, right? You look at that, you need to buy the chair, you need to buy your, different clippers. All business owners have startup costs, and there's always some sort of risk involved, right? The beauty of our industry is that really the startup cost is low when you look at it in perspective to everything else that's out there. And the other thing is that the startup cost, really the lead cost is directly associated with your prospect, your client, who you're going to sell to, who you're going to present your product to. And so I got to tell you, if you invest in your business, believe in yourself, believe in the system, and do the activity, you'll be successful. I mean, you're gonna get some bumps and bruises. You're gonna get scraped up. You might need a band-aid. But you'll survive. You'll make it through. You will because the numbers are there. The numbers don't lie. The averages don't lie. I recruited a new guy yesterday, and he asked me, do most people, I showed him the plan. He said, do most people make are they successful? Are they, they making a lot of money? All the people coming on board? And I said, no, I'm going to be honest with you. Most people don't make it. It's not for everybody. But the reason why most people don't make it, from what I can see and from what Joe sees, is fear. They let the fear cripple them before they ever get started, before they ever place their lead order. They get fear and then they don't move forward. So really, they quit before they tried it out. I mean, the thing is if you're gonna jump in, commit, do the activity, and then make a decision, then make a judgment. Don't quit before you get started, guys. You got to get out there. So don't let that fear overcome you. Fear is a state of mind. And you can change your state of mind. It's all about adapting to the new scenario. Start getting accustomed with what it is you need to do. I've seen a lot of people come in through the business that were really good in sales, great as a matter of fact in some cases, but not succeed here. And the reason why they didn't succeed was because even though their sales skills were high, their prospecting skills had never been developed. And this is the first time that they had to learn how to prospect. And so the prospecting is what you got to get good at. You got to learn how to prospect. And that's what we're here to teach you. So Joe, I'm going to pause for a second and let you jump in here.
All right, man. I appreciate that, dude. Just a couple of things, man. When we're talking about startup cost, is that, guys, there is very little financial barrier to starting an insurance business. And I think that's one of the problems, Jimmy, is that all you really got to do is go get a license, right?
Yep.
Okay. And because all the the sales collateral, it's all going to be provided to you for free from the carriers. Brochures, applications, the mobile apps. You don't have to pay for any of that stuff. The insurance companies are paying for it. All we got to do as senior solutions agents, maybe we spend a couple $100 for business cards, folders, flip chart, that kind of thing. Guys, the startup, from getting your license to buying your startup kit, you're talking less than a couple $100 to open up your business. What the disconnect sometimes is the marketing and advertising. Because Jimmy, you talked about, if you want to be a barber, I was just thinking about that. Man, you got to, first of all, you got to have a venue. So you're paying rent somewhere. You got to buy all the equipment. But you're not in business yet because nobody knows you're there. You still have to market and advertise your business. So I think that sometimes is the disconnect when someone gets into the insurance business, is that they're in business, but they're not properly understanding is that you got to promote your business. Guys, business is about promotion, 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 promotion. You got to promote yourself. At the end of the day, if you want to be successful, and if you want to be really successful, like multiple six-figure income earner, is that you got to put yourself in front of people that don't already know who you are. Same way with building an agency. The only way for us to build Senior Solutions, to build our brand, is market and advertising. Is that we've got, as an agency, we've got to get in front of more people that don't already know who we are. It's branding, it's marketing. I'm going to put up a little slide here real quick. This is appropriate. This was on Facebook the other day. I just posted and copied it. Guys, I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone. Read a lot of his books, by the way. If you haven't read, apologize, Sell or Be Sold, one of my top 5 sales books of all time. Love this book. But I love his little quote here. Timing will never be perfect. Just do it. Now, guys, we're not telling you to wing it. Okay, I don't like the word, hey man, just, go wing it. You don't need to know anything. That's not what we're telling you. is that, but you're never going to be totally prepared. At some point, you just need to go out and do it. You're not going to have you don't have to have the in-home presentation down perfect. You don't have to know every single carrier perfect. Guys, I would consider myself a veteran agent. When I go out in the field, I still only go out with 3 products: Transamerica, Mutual of Omaha, and a guaranteed issue. Actually, I take 2 guaranteed issues, AIG and Gerber. I take those 2. So that's actually 4 products total. Okay, that's it. That's all I go out into the field with. When it comes to the products, you don't have to know every single product. You just need to know 1 or 2. That's it. But the only way for you to get good at something, the only cure to getting over the fear is just to do it. Is that you've got the cure to fear is action. You have to take action. Just like Jimmy was talking about Desi, about skating, and what did he say? Skating is stupid. You know what I mean? It is stupid when you don't know how to do it, but once you figure it out, oh my God, it's so much fun. Same thing with what we do. It is so much fun to go out into the field, because action and activity creates confidence. And when you're confident, man, you can conquer the world. So to kind of transition to what else we wanted to talk about today, Jimmy, is one of the other things I learned from Grant attending one of his sales seminars is that I don't care what business you're in, whether it's the insurance business, the restaurant business, clothing industry, landscape, whatever it is, all businesses have the same sales cycle. And I think we need to understand this. At the very top of the sales cycle, it talks about marketing and advertising. Again, guys, that's really the missing link. You could study and have the presentation down, know all the carriers, product knowledge. Just be able to quote everything and just have everything, almost perfect. Okay. But what good does that do you if you're not marketing, if nobody knows who you are? In other words, you have no audience. What's the point of putting on a big production or like a play or producing a movie? Can you imagine making a movie, producing it, and then just not advertising it? That would be crazy, right? No one would come see your theater or your movie. Guys, we need to, at the end of the day, we got to be able to get in front of people that don't know who we are. That's the marketing and advertising. What marketing and advertising does is it turns people that don't know who you are into prospects. We call those leads, okay? In our industry, they're leads. What is a lead? A lead, in my opinion, a lead that we're talking about is someone that has an interest in getting information and what you're offering. That's a lead. And then we got to prospect those leads. In our business, prospecting could be, on the phone, door knocking. Those are the 2 primary ways of prospecting. Now, we prefer door knocking over any other method of prospecting. At the end of the day, I have found that to be hands down, unequivocally, the best way to contact a fresh prospect is to take it to the door. Take that lead card that they filled out in their own handwriting. If it's a Facebook lead, you print out the card that has their name, date of birth, address, email address, has their favorite color, has their favorite hobby. It's printed out. You're taking that to the door when you're prospecting. I personally have found that is the number one way to prospect. And then I go through and I call all my leads that I can't get a hold of on door knocking. But the lead generation and then the prospecting leads to presentations, actually presenting. And we're going to go through all these numbers here in a little bit, but making those presentations and then doing the follow-up. What is the follow-up? Well, guys, once you make the presentation, you write the application, it's not over. You got to follow your business all the way through underwriting, from the time you write the business till the time it's issued, till the time that you're paid commission, all the way through. And we have a follow-up system that we're going to teach you how to contact the client. Let them know, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm going to submit your policy. It should not take more than 5 to 10 business days. What I'll do is, as soon as I get it approved, or if I need any additional information, I will contact you. That's the follow-up. So what are we doing? That means that we are, once I'm getting that approval, I'm contacting my clients. I'm doing the follow-up. I'm sending them a thank you card. I'm sending them a birthday card. I want to stay in front of them. Doing annual follow-throughs or annual reviews. That's the sales cycle. And then you just repeat it. That's it. You're just repeating it back and that is the sales cycle. And what Jimmy, are you ready to start going through the flow chart with the numbers, how this plays out with marketing and advertising?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. So guys, Jimmy, let me turn it back over to you. We're talking about marketing and advertising, and we're talking about generating 20 leads. And again, guys, a lead is someone that responded. They responded to a direct mail. They responded to a Facebook. We're not talking about, just 20 non-qualified leads. Keep in mind, if you were cold calling, how many people a week, how many phone calls, how many people would you actually have to have a conversation with to generate 20 leads? You probably have to make hundreds upon hundreds of phone calls and talk to at least, what would you say? I mean, at least 5 times that, at least probably have a conversation with 100 people in a week to find 20 people that actually want to have a conversation.
Answer that question for you, because when I first started, I worked for an organization where all we did was cold call list. So, it was just a list of people's name, address, phone number, their age. They had no idea anybody was going to contact them. They didn't request anything. And I would make 600 calls a week to set maybe 5 or 6 appointments, which only 3 or half of them would probably, fall out. So maybe 3 would stick. That was 600 people. So, I mean, cold calling is hard. I can tell you that it's hard. I did it for a year and I made money at it, but it wasn't fun. Let's talk about these leads. Here's the thing. You can advertise various different ways, but what I love about direct mail advertising is that, when you place an order for 20 leads, and we're going to use this as an example, 20 leads, we're going to drop mail, and I say we, not Joe and I, but our lead vendor, our marketing organization, YIG, is going to drop 20 leads. And or rather, they're gonna drop mail to fill your order of 20 leads. So typically, they're gonna have to mail to about 2,000 to 2,500 people. They're gonna send them that mail. They're gonna get it at their home. They're gonna review the material at their own leisure, fill out the card in their own handwriting, stick it in an envelope, and mail it back. Okay. They had to do a little work. They had to open the envelope, read it, complete the card by hand, put it in another envelope, and go to the mailbox and stick it in there, right? So, I mean, they have an interest. It doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed sell, but it does mean that they're interested in it. Now, the lead card, what does it say? Well, I can tell you that it specifically says that it's about life insurance to pay for final expenses. And they can get up to, and depending on which card, it might say 25,000, 30,000, or 35,000 for pennies a day. So they know that it's life insurance. They know that it costs money. It's not free. It says pennies a day, right? There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. It doesn't say reply and you get a free Walmart card. There's nothing like that, right? There's no carrot for them to mail it in. They strictly want the information. So once we define that, when you get those leads, they come into you, they scan it, email it out to you. Now that lead card comes back in first class mail. Now, you know that first class only takes 2 to 3 days to get delivered in most cases, right? Not during the holidays, that might be a little extra time, but in most cases, 2 to 3 days. When you get that lead in your inbox, think about it. They just mailed it in 2 to 3 days ago. It's a fresh lead. They have a request. So when you go knock on their door and you say, "Hi, my name is Jimmy Hernandez," and you show them the card, right? You show them their own handwriting. The reason why I came out is because you filled out this card, and I'm just simply here to provide that information for you, and so on. Um, it makes it easy to get in. Now, the numbers are, and these are the numbers nationally, these numbers work. You know, what do they say, Joe? The law of large numbers, right? So like
Exactly. Hey, Jimmy, can I make a comment real quick?
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm just thinking about this. We haven't even got into like the investment part of the leads, but I'm just thinking to myself, can you imagine if you did this on your own? Like, first of all, you'd have to go out, you'd have to buy the list, which is cheap. You can get raw data for probably 3 cents, a name. So that part's cheap. But can you imagine every week licking and stamping 2,000 envelopes every single week? I mean, it would literally be a full-time job. And that's what I love about outsourcing your marketing and advertising, is because at the end of the day, we need to do what we do best. And what do we do best? We prospect and make presentations. That's what we're experts at. That's what we get paid for. Okay? So I'm just thinking to myself, man, what a bargain. What a bargain is it that you can spend all of your time prospecting, making presentations, pay a little bit of money, invest in outsource, let somebody else do your marketing and advertising. And guys, we're going to get into the numbers here in just a little bit, but just let that sink in. Let that sink in. Just envision yourself at home mailing out 2,000 envelopes every single week. Daunting. It would be a daunting task. Trust me, Jimmy, making 600 phone calls a week. That's a daunting task.
Yep, it sure is. So let's get back on it. So the law of large numbers says we get thousands, and I really mean that's not an exaggeration, thousands of leads every week. We got agents all over the nation, and the numbers work like this. Out of 20 leads, you will make 12 presentations. So that means that 8 people, you're either not going to be able to get a hold of them or they're going to reject you, right? Just know that it's coming. You're not going to get a hold of everybody. Don't get hung up on those 8 that you didn't get. Get positive and focus on the 12 sits that you do get, right? So you're going to sit down with 12 people and you're going to make presentations, right? Now, I'm going to say this. You're going to sit down with more than 12 people, because sometimes you're sitting with a husband and wife. Sometimes you're sitting with the person that filled out the card, and then other family members are there as well, right? But you're going to make 12 presentations. Out of those 12 presentations, if you're brand new, right? Brand new, and you don't have very much skill set, you should make 7 applications. 7, right? So the average annual premium for final expense is $650 a year. That's your AP. 7 times 650, that gets you $4,550 in annualized premium. Okay. Then you multiply that times your commission rate. So what rate are we going with here, Joe?
Well, here's what I did, Jimmy. I put together a different set of slides that starts back up to the top. So what I did here is I showed the $4,550, guys, in submitted premium. Okay, that's how much you're submitting to the carriers. But sometimes things happen. Sometimes they don't get approved. You can't get back. You may have a client here or there decides that they want to cancel out. So I'm going to look at right now a 90% placement rate, Jimmy.
Okay.
So I'm figuring of the 4,500 you submit, you're going to get $4,095 of that actually goes issue paid. Okay. And then what I want to do, I want to work at an 85% commission level, because even if you're higher, you know what I mean, then it's going to be a higher number. But 85% is our new agent commission level. So I think we should really show that. And guys, even if you're at a higher rate than that, sometimes if you're writing a graded policy or it's a guaranteed issue, you could have a kind of a blended commission level. So your effective commission level may be a little bit lower because you're writing, not everything is going to get approved level benefit. So in this scenario, Jimmy, I'm going with 85% commission level, which works out to be $3,480 in commissionable. Well, that would be your payout before the advance.
Now,
Yeah.
the insurance company, because we're setting it up on a monthly premium, they're not going to give you the entire $3,480 because they haven't collected, right? So they're going to advance you 75%. That's $2,610. So that $2,610, that's what you're getting paid on now. That's what's deposited in your bank account when that policy issues, right? So your total commissions is $3,480. $2,610 is coming to you now. The other $870, you're still going to get it. You just got a delayed effect, right? So on month 10, 11, and 12, that's when the balance is paid, right? So 10 months later, you're going to get the rest of it, right? But let's just stick with the advance, the 2,610, okay? So those leads, they're not cheap, but look at what they got you, right? So the leads cost $29.75 times 20 is $595. That's your lead investment. That's your business cost, right? Do the math, deduct that. That gives you what, $2,015 in commission and net commissions for the leads. So let me ask you this, guys. Do you want to make $2,000 a month? Or do you want to do that $2,000 every other week? Or do you want to do that $2,000 a week? See, because however often you order those 20 leads, that's going to be your net number. So I'm just telling you, like, the more frequent you can order the 20, the more money you're going to make. And the way our system works is you want to have a reoccurring order. You don't want to run out of leads and then have to wait to get replenished. That time that you're waiting, you're just sitting around playing with your thumbs because you got nobody to talk to. So you gotta have that order reoccurring, keep coming in every week or every other week, depending how often you're able to place it. Now, for you new guys, take the leap of faith. Oh my God, $600 is not going to crush you, right? I know what you're thinking. I don't have $600. I will here shortly. I will, when this happens or and then something else comes up. Guys, suck it up. Pay $600, get a lead order in, borrow the money, put it on a credit card, go out and do something more than what you're doing now to work, to work and get that money. Figure it out. $600 to start a business, come on, get over it. If you can't do $600, then you don't need to be in this business, is the plain truth. You just need to go work for somebody else. But if you're tired of working for somebody else and you want to have your own business, you want to control your own destiny, and you want to make your own money, and you want to write your own schedule and your own paycheck and your own benefits, and you want to be able to travel, or maybe, provide a better lifestyle for you and your family, well, then you need to invest in yourself. That's the only way. Okay. You can't just hope that it's going to happen or wish that it's going to happen. You have to put forth the activity to make that happen. Right. So first part is coming up with the 595, right? Put forth whatever activity you need to get that 595. Then when you go out there and you make those sales and you get paid the commissions, you need to pull out at least 595 so that you can re-up on your next order, right? Maybe add an extra $30 and order 16, or not 16, 21 the next time. Keep increasing your lead count. The more leads you purchase, the more people you get in front of, the more sales you're going to make. So I'm going to turn it back over to Joe.
Well, here I'm just listening to what you're saying, Jimmy. Just so many thoughts are going through my head about, investing in your business. Here's the thing, guys. Here's what you got to realize is that most of us, I want to say almost everybody on this call, if I were to ask you this question, is that, are you in life where you should be? In other words, do you feel like you should be further ahead in your life, in your career, in your business? Do you feel like you should be further ahead than where you are? I'm going to raise my hand. I think I should be 10 times further along than where I am. But the truth of the matter is that we are where we're supposed to be. You are where you are in life because of the decisions you've made. That's the plain and simple truth. So at the end of the day, man, we all have to take inventory, myself included. My goodness. We have to take 100% responsibility for where we are in life. And to be quite blunt with you, if you don't have the money to invest in advertising and marketing in your insurance business, guys, that's a sign that what you've been doing up until now hasn't been working. It's not working. If you don't have $600 extra in your bank account to invest in marketing and advertising, the plain and simple truth is, whatever it is you're doing, it ain't working. So it's time, you got to change it up. That's the point that Jimmy's making. You got to take that leap of faith. You got to invest in yourself, invest in your business. And it's not a one-time thing. You got to be prepared to make multiple investments. Well, Jimmy, what if I invest $595 and I get my leads and I suck? Be prepared to invest another $595. At the end of the day, yes.
I'm sorry to cut you. Finish your statement there.
At the end of the day, to get started in this business, even if it takes you, whatever time it takes you, and you have to go through a couple of lead cycles, because everyone's going to have a learning curve. I can tell you this, guys, read the magic formula. I talk about it in there. In the beginning, when I first got started in final expense, I wasn't good at it. I blew through leads, but I didn't quit. I kept going. My final thought, and I'll throw it back over to you, Jimmy. At the end of the day, it's going to cost you less to get started in this business and get through the learning curve than it would cost you to pay for one semester at college at any state school across the United States. That's it, guys. 1 semester of college. Is it worth it to invest in yourself? People spend hundreds of thousands well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but probably on average 60 to 120,000 to send their kid to an average state college, state school, Division I, Division II state school. It's expensive. What we're telling you is that there's gonna be a learning curve. Most agents quit before they even fully give it a try. They quit too soon. I can promise you this, is that everybody that's with Senior Solutions now, we have 100% success rate for agents that don't quit, that follow the system, they don't quit, they are succeeding at a high level. So Jimmy, I know you had something you wanted to add to that.
A thought occurred to me. I'm a good old Texas boy, and back in the day, I used to have a horse. And I used to go on trail rides and stuff like that. And every now and then we come across a water well on these trail rides, right? And you had to go up to the well to get water. And first time I went up to the well to get water, I didn't know no better. I was just pumping and pumping and pumping, and nothing was coming out, Joe. And that's how a lot of agents are. They're just pumping their mouth, talking to everybody, just who they know, their friends, their family, strangers at Walmart, Starbucks, trying to sell somebody insurance. They're just pumping and pumping and pumping. Ain't nothing coming out. They ain't making no money. But you know what it takes? You got to put a little bit of water. At the water well, Joe, they have a little container with water in it.
Yeah.
You got to put water in it first.
You got to prime the pump, man.
You got to prime it. And guess what starts happening, Joe? Water starts coming out. It's the same thing with your business. You got to invest in yourself. You got to prime the pump. And then the money's going to start coming out. You got to put a little bit in to get a good return. I'm just saying. We're not asking you to spend thousands of dollars. Take a leap of faith, prime the pump, $5.95. Let's get you started.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself, man. That's what I mean. You got to believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself. And guys, trust me, we don't promote marketing and advertising because, we're not making money off of it. We know that's what it takes to succeed. And it goes back to the sales cycle we talked about. No business is going to succeed if they're not marketing and advertising. There's not one business that even the church has to market and advertise. My goodness, successful businesses market and advertise. Make your business a successful business. Let's see if we have any questions from anyone. Well, we're about at it. I mean, we've taken up the full hour. Let's see here. No questions. All right, guys. Well, at the end of the day, guys, I appreciate you guys being on the call, man. I hope this was educational. This is really more of a mindset and attitude type call, is to take that leap of faith. There's a really good book. You guys know who Steve Harvey is?
Yeah.
Even if you don't read the book, just do me a favor. After this call, just go to YouTube, type in the word Steve Harvey, and type in the word jump, J-U-M-P. Okay. He wrote a book called, I think it's just called Jump. But anyway, what Steve talked about in that book, I'll sum it up for you. It's a really good book. I mean, he talked about his life, and because I had no idea that, he was living out of his car and, homeless, and just the things that he went through, just the trials and tribulations. But the premise, what he talks about in that book, is that at the end of the day, if you're going to be successful, is that you got to take that leap of faith. You have to jump. And what he talks about, what you visualize in the book, is that you're on top of a cliff and you have a parachute, but you have to jump off the cliff. Okay? Let's say there's a big forest fire behind you and it's coming towards you. So you have a choice. You either get burned up or you got to jump off the cliff. The good thing is you got a parachute. But the thing about it is that when you jump off the cliff, is that you're going to hit the side, you're going to maybe hit some trees, you're going to get bounced, you're going to get bruised up, you're going to get cut, you're going to get abrasions. It's going to feel like maybe you're going to die. But eventually, that parachute's going to open and it's going to blossom. And you're going to land safely to the ground. That's going to be your success. But in order for that to happen, in order for your parachute to open up, in order for your parachute to blossom around, that's what we used to call it in the Marine Corps, Jimmy, when we would jump out of helicopters and C-130s. You're talking about your parachute blossoming round. That parachute has to blossom round, guys, but it will never blossom round if we don't take that leap of faith. Jump off that cliff. You got a parachute on. You'll be okay. You're going to get bumped up, scraped, bruised, cut up. Take that leap of faith. We'll end it with right there, man, is everybody take that leap of faith, but go to YouTube. Steve Harvey, jump, watch it. It will inspire you and motivate you. And if you're really enthusiastic, order the book on Amazon. It's a fantastic read. You won't be disappointed. All right, Jimmy, that's all I got, brother.
All right, great call. Thank you, Joe. Have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. God bless. You guys take care. Call me if you need me.